Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about this morning. I was going through the news stories. Hurricane, hashtag hurricane. I shouldn't smile when I say this because it's really not funny. In California, there was, we're here in the East Coast, we're just finding about this now. There was an earthquake, a 5.1 earthquake right after Hurricane Hillary, when Hurricane Hillary went through Southern California yesterday, Ventura County, California, LA area, 5.1 earthquake. So hashtag hurricane was trending on Twitter. That's a big story this morning. You know, and I've been through a couple earthquakes. I actually was in an earthquake in Maine back in the late 70s. Yeah, in Maine, it was like a 2 or 3. I was in the earthquake, when the highway fell down in San Francisco in the La Jolla area back in 87, I believe it was. I was there then, and that scared the hell out of me. I've been through dozens of hurricanes, but you know, other people that live in California are better equipped to talk about that. So I ruled against that. Then I came across a headline. The headline was, Trump voters trust Donald Trump more than their own mother. Okay, so I kind of get a grin on my face at first. I think it's kind of humorous. Like, you know, I don't doubt this. And the more I looked into it, the more it started to scare me. And then I realized how it's affected my life. And that just blew my mind. Then I knew I had to talk about this. Okay, so that's the headline. The links will be down below. It's a CBS News poll, and it's got to do with the indictments. And here's one of the main CBS News poll. This was on August 16th through 18th, just a few days ago, 2023. And it had, like I said, you know, how do Trump voters feel about the indictments? 91% believe the indictment is politically motivated. Only 8% believe that Trump tried to overturn the presidential election. That reminds me of the video I just did. You know, where I trust myself, my decision making, probably most of all when it comes to stuff like this. I try to read both sides, you know, the whole thing. You know, could this election have possibly been stolen? And I see no proof for it. And then I actually hear Donald Trump talk on the phone to Secretary of State Raffensperger in Georgia, saying, I need you to find me 11,781 votes. Because 11,780 votes would have tied it. His own voice, Donald Trump's voice, saying this, and he admits to this. This is his perfect phone call. And then he goes on to say in that same phone call, his voice, he actually makes up like an excuse for Raffensperger. He says, "Well, you could tell people that you made a mistake tabulating the votes. You know, so here's how you could do it. Here's how you could lie." But you need to find me these votes. You need to find me 11,781 votes so I can win. You know, what does that tell me? That tells me that this guy knew he lost and would do anything to stay in office. How else could you look at that story? How can you deny that? You know, and they just got their fingers in their ears. Fake news, you know, it's his own voice. So, you know, okay, so now it starts to get scary. So they asked Trump voters, who do you feel what they tell you is the truth? Okay, and these are Trump voters just a couple days ago. The top answer is Donald Trump. 71% trust what he says above everybody else. Then friends and family. 63% believe friends and family will tell them the truth. So they literally trust Donald Trump more than their sisters, brothers. 71% of Trump voters believe Donald Trump above their own tightest circle, their family, friends, husband, wives, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, best friends. They trust Donald Trump. You know, and then there's in the comments they start talking about like Jonestown, the massacre and stuff. You know, what if Donald Trump, you know, in that kind of cult scenario, what if Donald Trump told you, you know, forget about do away with your family, or, you know, it's scary when you think about their dedication to this man. 71% believe Donald Trump above anybody else. Friends and family, their own mother, they believe Donald Trump. Conservative media figures, the links will be down below so you can see this for yourselves. 56%. Religious leaders, 42%. If I was going to look at this, who do I trust? I voted for Biden. Do I trust Biden, friends and family? It says conservative media. Do I trust liberal media figures or religious leaders? I would, above all, it would be friends and family and myself. When it comes to politics, my family is not very up on the news. But when it comes to my own good, I think about motivation. What is somebody's motivation to tell me the truth, the hard truth, what I need to know? My friends and family, what is their motivation? What do they get out of it? Like, tell them back when they spent years trying to get me help when I was a drug addict. It almost killed them. It almost bankrupted them. They did it for love, just because they loved me. No other reason, because it was detrimental to them to keep doing that, to keep trying to save me. Why would Donald Trump tell you the truth? Or any political figure? Is there something in it for him? Yeah. There's a huge thing. His legacy. The way he's gonna. His ego, money, future money, the future of his family. There's way more benefits for a political figure to lie to you than to tell you the truth, or to tell you what you want to hear for their own benefit. And I don't see. They actually look at Donald Trump. And they don't see any of that. They actually look at Donald Trump and they must believe that, the way I believe my family loves me. That's why they tell me the truth. They actually believe that Donald Trump loves them and loves America so much that, he will tell them the God's honest truth no matter what. That is scary. I thought about, this is another thing that came to mind. When I talk to somebody, I think I mentioned this before on here. When I talk to somebody, a red flag for me. When I first meet somebody, if I hear them, or even friends or people I went to school with, or anybody, when I'm having a conversation and they talk badly, like somebody comes over, there's three of us talking, and then one person leaves, and then it's just me and the other person. That person goes, "Geez, can you believe him? He's such an, he's so dumb," and they put down other people when they're not around. Those are the people, that talk badly about other people. That their allegiance just can come and go, depending on what those people can do for them. Those are the people that I trust less. When people talk badly about other people, I assume that as soon as I leave, they're going to talk badly about me. A red flag goes right up in my mind when I hear somebody, start dissing somebody else, with little petty stuff. But when a person comes around, and I think of Donald Trump, the people in his, he threw away people, like 90% of the people that were in his administration now are talking badly about, and he's made up names for them. He has no allegiance to anybody except unless they kiss, unless they kiss his ass, and I don't believe how Trump voters can't see this. Okay, so I was thinking about ways to talk about this. Then it hit me. Audrey, my soulmate. I know some of you heard this before, but this just hit me like a sledgehammer this morning. I thought about Audrey. This is my soulmate, girl. My first girlfriend in third grade. We got back together. We lived together. She was my soulmate, and she was a hardcore Trump supporter. She didn't believe in wearing masks. For personal freedom, she believes all the stuff about vaccines and all the bad stuff about that. Last time I saw her was in June. There's going to be links to this down below too. I saw her in June of 2021. And she was leaving for Jacksonville, Florida. There's a link down below. The Delta variant exploded in Jacksonville, in the Hall of Florida, right when she got there, in the summer of 2021. And there's a crazy link down below that talks about the numbers. Because you talk about, people talking about how DeSantis handled the COVID thing so well. So she didn't wear masks. She didn't get a vaccination. And as soon as she got there, she got COVID. A few weeks later, she was in the hospital. She's a real person. Trump voter. She trusted Donald Trump. Didn't wear a mask. Personal freedom. Didn't get a vaccine. Personal freedom. Here's her obituary for believing everything Donald Trump said. Right there. Never got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. Every time. All the vaccinations. I didn't trust what Donald Trump said. I'm still alive. She's not. She trusted every word. That's where it got her. She's gone. She's dead. As you can see, she was a perfectly healthy woman. That's another thing. Ron DeSantis, they talk about how another Republican running for president, how well he handled COVID there. If you look at the numbers down below, you'll see how it exploded. He covered up these numbers. And then her sister called me and asked me, Daryl, did Audrey ever have asthma? I said, no, she never had asthma a day in her life. And her sister said, well, the medical examiner is trying to say that it wasn't COVID she died from. She had a pre-existing condition of asthma, and that's what they want to put on her death certificate. And that's a total lie. She never had asthma. Not one day. I was with her for years. I've known her since she was a child. Never had a hard time breathing. Never had asthma. But they put that. I think they actually put that on her medical exam, on her death certificate, and that's how Ron DeSantis. And there'll be links for that down below too. That how he covered up the COVID stuff. And these people trust Donald Trump above everybody else and GOP. And I'm not saying I don't trust any politicians, but I would trust my mother more than any politician on earth. Even I love Obama, I would trust my mother more than Obama. I can't think of saying that I trust a politician more than my own mother or my own family. Anyway, the links will be down below. Have a good Monday.